Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy podcast with the Traders.
G'day with the Traders. I'm Roy. I coach Destroy, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the Warn Dogs.
And Calvin.
Coach of Calvin Neto. Woohoo!
Look, boys, of all the things that have been challenging this pre-season, I keep falling on, and it feels like it's every year. There's only two of them on your field, but the ruck department is a nightmare. There is so many different strategies we've played with over the past, and I reckon only once or twice we've nailed the right one. We flip and flop. We're here to make a decision.
Because this year we're going to get it right. We did get it right last year. We were actually kissed last year, I reckon, the way that came out. Like by having the value of Tristan Xerri, the big X there. Like that was just a layup pick. And even Max Gawn at the time, priced in the low 90s and then performed, went over 110. So like that was just a gimme, an easy way of
And they played a lot of games. They were durable.
And if you didn't go there and you went with Grundy, even that was fine.
That was fine. There was a few that paid off, that alternatives to that.
You couldn't go wrong, really.
It was a good year in the rucks.
Yes.
This year, though, we're chasing
challenges.
Are we chasing what we want to try to do? Are we chasing the fact that, you know, we've been set and forget in the past?
We have.
And we don't want that because the value works. It worked so well last year. Are we trying to find that value a little bit too much? That's a little bit of my thought, because initially I was all in on set and forget because I thought, I reckon we're reaching trying to get these guys that we think are value. They're probably not going to outperform their price by enough.
No.
They will, but not by enough.
I know, because there is that thing. I don't like paying top dollar for people, but if there's a line I'm ever tempted, it can be the ruck, because all these other options, and we'll get to them in a minute, I feel like I am spending too much time trying to convince myself why that person will be okay.
You create your own little narrative to suit. Yeah, exactly.
There's no one you go on like X last year. Well, look at him. He's got the job to himself. He's scored in the past. So much upside you could see.
I feel like some people, I might even say we, question X a little bit more than what we have questioned some of these mid-prices this year a little bit, which is interesting.
It is.
Or the value rucks. I won't even call them mid-prices, because that's the thing. No one is epically cheap either.
No,
they're
they're
actually
not.
all quite high in price.
Which increases the risk.
Cal, you're the man. You're the ruck man.
Oh, yes.
Because you're the tallest of the three of us?
That's it. Tallest, widest.
I've seen you jump in the ruck
Biggest
too.
feet.
I have rucked before, yes. So I do know the craft.
I did see you chopping out in the forward 50.
Yeah, I love it. And don't
you love the body of body
I
stuff?
did like you in there.
Don't you pretend you didn't enjoy it.
I did like you in there.
Mate, I would muscle up against the other big fat dude, right? The ball would come in, I'd look at you, a little wink, and I'd tap it down your throat, and off you went.
Do you know what you had? Like, and this is a big call, but compared to Ruckman, you had a brain.
I did.
You didn't just whack it.
No, it's not that hard.
For the sake of getting your hand to it.
Find your little man. There's you, Roy. Give me a little wink.
It's all about your basketball background. So let's start with...
taking a jump ball.
Let's start towards the top. Well, let's start at the top. Yep. So we've gone Rowan Marshall there to begin with. He's the most expensive player in the game. He's done it now a couple of years on the trot of just being epically good.
He's a gun, isn't he?
So this is one where we're nearly talking ourselves out of the narrative that we want to create. So we've got, here it is. So what was it? Listed with a 5 to 8 week pelvis stress fracture.
Yeah.
Right?
Ross Lyon, though.
Comes out, he will definitely play round one.
Look, to pay that much, that's already too much smoke for me, so I am out.
And don't get me started on Harry Boyd. We'll talk about him later.
Well, exactly. But if you're paying top dollar for someone, it really needs to be an uninterrupted.
It does.
Not talking about fractures in your pelvis.
In December, I was keen.
Yes, so was I.
Yeah.
So but what did that report do to you?
Oh, not keen.
Full line through? Permanent marker?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Unless we saw something in these pracky games where you just go, oh my God.
Harry Boyd will play. He will play.
What, round one?
Yes. Mark my words. Mark them down right now as I say them. Well, he will play round
now
one.
My line through Marshall becomes a cross.
It does. It does.
Well, Marshall's probably not on our radar for Classic.
No.
We'll have some draft discussion later, but that's going to be interesting.
That's a concern.
I've seen a couple of drafts recently where people have got a little bit spooked.
Yeah, really?
Because it was
too spooked.
Those rucks are going 1 and 2 in drafts, and we will talk about those later. But Jeez.
Crikey.
Anyway, let's move on to the next one, and that is Tristan Xerri. So he's at $1,175,000. Very expensive. He went at 114.5 after increasing the most cash out of any player. Normally that's a cash cow. He was more than a cash cow. He was like a cash freaking bull.
He's so popular. He's the 5th most selected overall. Yeah. Overall.
It just has to be done, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
So he was big, like stoppage work is where it was all at, because he'd hit it down and then tackle the bloke that he hit it to. So that helped, because he averaged so many tackles.
No reason that changes either.
But he's just incredible. He got it's like, we talk about the rucks, and probably off the top we could have mentioned this, that we want a ruck that's rucking by themselves. We don't want them sharing the job at all. And that's where we see the best. And most clubs are down that path. There's a couple that roll out, but
it's nothing to worry about because he's not actually one of the coaches. But I did hear Kingy.
Yeah.
He loves
that goad.
Yeah, he loves goad. 207 centimetres.
Oh, big man.
Very raw at the moment, but Kingy wants him in just for a handful of games.
Come on, Kingy.
No,
Just saying.
Get in his DMs, Roy. Tell him to get away from that area.
Look, because I don't have one flag on X-Man.
No, me either.
I'm just willing to pay, put a C on it, enjoy it.
So X, obviously he was epic to start the season because he went up a fair bit in price, but it was the second half where it really turned it on. It was over 125 average for since the bye, and went through that patch. Remember, we were waiting for him to be the world record holder of the most 150 plus in a row. He got 3. He could have had the 4th.
Think about that.
Would have been the best ever.
He got 3 in a row.
That's just amazing.
Over 150.
Yeah. You were redundant, captain picker.
Again, yes.
Yeah, I love your redundant patches. So he is just a walk-up pick, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yep,
so that's R1, right?
So we're going there, and that's what most people are doing. Now, there is arguments, and we'll talk about the value later, but that you could go to value. But I think the strategy is set and forget with one, and then see what happens with the second. Although, Calvin, you've come to me this weekend.
Yeah, I have.
And you've changed your mind about things, or you've floated a name.
I floated a name as an R2. And I don't think it's a huge out there call.
No, but it's set and forget, though.
It is.
Is it?
And we're talking Maximus.
Really?
Yes. Of the Gawn variety.
There's an interrupted pre-season.
He's not even that much cheaper than
X. He's a lot. So he's priced at his 112, right, which is his best season he's ever had.
So outside of a COVID year.
Oh, you don't count that.
BCV.
That's gone now. We don't even use an asterisk on that anymore. We just forget about it.
I like when that rolled out of our spreadsheet.
Yeah, I know.
See you later, 2020.
God, how painful was that? But so Max is what? He'd be about 33 coming off a career high.
Career high. No one. Tom Doom's not chopping him out.
No.
Right? So here's a guy.
He's a break the glass
VFL
guy.
Ruckman.
Yeah.
No early buy. Now, he went through a patch last year. He had 3 games where he was playing sort of injured.
Yeah.
And scored under 80 in all of them. Now, Roy, you know what I did? I took him out.
I took him out. Now I'm listening.
He would have gone at 118.
Okay.
Oh.
So that's more than Rowan.
It's more than Rowan. All I'm saying is we need to have Max in the conversation.
Well, you've just put him in there for
I
me.
did.
So I'll counter that with, well, he's a year older. He's no spring chicken.
Agree.
Those 3 games of 80 are likely to occur again through injury.
Okay.
I'm just trying to...
No, I'm with you. Yes, I agree.
Because I am really struggling. I need the 2, 4 and against.
There are a lot of rucks here with question marks next to their name.
Now, I know, Cal, you mentioned Doom, Tom Campbell.
Yeah. Good mate of mine.
There is more chance that he plays than anyone else that he's had in the last, is it 2 years now? When did he, no, 1 year. Because he had Grundy 2 years ago. I think
this is his time.
There's an opportunity, if there's an opportunity to have a rest, if that was needed, it's kind of there now.
And that's obviously the flag with Max, because at some point, he probably will carry a niggle or whatever, whereas Big X and those guys just seem to push through.
Rucks do,
yeah,
that's the
and
thing.
The beauty of it is here that, one, they are not going to have the luxury. They need to perform.
They do.
And it'll take every bit of their ability to perform where people sort of expect them to. 2, and I like this, no disrespect to Tom, but that is legit. If if it is a complete disaster, we can roll him out, but we will do everything we can. Max, can you walk? You can still push through then.
He's the captain.
Yeah.
He's the captain.
They don't want Tom to play.
Not stepping on my own toes here, dog, right? But they want him out.
Good luck hitting
Captains
one.
aren't important.
Good one, Roy.
Thanks. But you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Like, that is a huge drop-off
Yeah.
to resort to that.
Yeah.
As much as Tom
And look, we love Tom.
is good.
Don't we?
Yeah, without a doubt. And his VFL numbers.
Yes.
Nothing to turn your nose at.
Thing is, if something happened, though, you get through the first few weeks, maybe the thing is with Rowan Marshall is that he may have bottomed out a little bit in price and you can just pivot straight across to there.
Yep.
Or there's someone else that you go, oh, they're actually hitting their straps and going okay there. I might be able to roll into that. And then look at some fixture stuff, your scale of hardness Calvinator,
Ooh,
and
yes.
see who
That's
might
a great question.
be a thing there.
How does Max look on the scale?
Not too bad, but not as good as some of the
Not
others.
a home run.
Right.
But, he's fine.
You know what I do like about this one dog? It is Max.
Yep.
So you know what you're going to get, like a genuine star.
Yes.
With these other ones who, in their defence, are a bit cheaper, you will be chewing your nails a bit more.
Every Thursday night.
Because there's more question marks.
Yep.
But now, before we get into some of these more value plays, Tim English deserves a chat. He had
does.
that abdominal injury. It was a more, what do you call him, like a contact type one. It's not like he strained
ripped one or
something
something.
or anything like that. So he's so much cheaper than what he was the year before. Remember, he was the number one
He
player
was.
in 2023. So he dropped, it was about 14 points, I think it was,
Correct.
on that. And so obviously that was his career best. The rules changed a bit, which is a little bit of that narrative Calvinator.
It is.
Why he may have dropped down. But, geez, I have looked at him a little bit and think that he does offer value.
Why any other player in any other position,
Agree.
or even in the ruck, historically, if they've had a 1 year drop off after such a good season, we have them right at the top of the watch list. This is way too much
no buy.
no buy.
Yeah.
Trusting the eye test of last year, just going, that guy is not up to it anymore. Like, we watched him get bullied and not cope with it well at all, and now we have just put a line through
He
it.
just dropped his numbers sort of across the board. That was the thing, like
And
the
his
whole
head
lot of them.
and everything.
Because he was still basically going to the similar amount of ruck contests.
Yeah.
So
This entire podcast is dedicated to one spot.
I know. But we've got
We could do 2 hours of it, I reckon.
All right, so English, I think we don't cross him off any watch list.
Just
He could play himself into contention.
He could.
Darcy still only chops out, doesn't he?
Yeah. And that I thought that was a bigger thing. I'd researched that a fair bit, actually. I thought it was going to be a bigger issue because that was, well, at the time I was thinking, oh, yeah, that's what's happening here. Darcy's getting more. But he was doing pretty much the same as what Lob did the year before.
Yep, just a
I guess the only extra thing is that it's now Lob and Darcy. Darcy is that second banana ruck, chop out. But
Lob's not.
Lob's still got some.
Yeah, like Lob from defence, that's just if it...
That's
like
if
that's,
can't get
they
back
don't
down
want
there.
it. Yeah, they don't.
Tim
want
English
that to
does
happen.
not go under 105.
No,
So it's a safe pick.
could be.
There's
be.
nothing safe about
No,
Tim.
there isn't.
But there is.
We got him. We made.
But there is. He's
He
spot
was
on.
up there costing you a hat.
Yeah.
We made that wrong
Yeah,
call.
so that
at that time.
it was, and so that's probably why I'm also angry at him.
Yeah.
Because he was still hitting 95 to
Solid.
105.
It was solid.
It's far from awful. It was just the alternative was doing so much better.
Yeah.
Right. So he's on the list.
Well, he has to be on the list.
He's on the list.
Now the next group, we'll just sort of go through them pretty quickly here. Nank, he's just is what he is. And
Solid.
it's probably maybe a little bit of regression. Just as
I think so.
we
We
don't
thought
know.
that last year, though.
Yeah.
He still turned
He
up.
just does it.
Yep.
Grundy, he had that big jump, obviously, because we liked him priced at 75. Maybe didn't quite get to where we
No.
thought, but I think anytime he added 20-plus points to his average, it was still a win in
can't
that.
complain,
Is it the Sydney system is that where he's at? Like, is 100 where he's topped out at? Like the
think it
97
is.
that he did last year?
But you look at his ceiling scores, and he still did. Like when he did those, can you do those more often?
Because he's not the ruck pig of the 120 pluses.
But now that Coxey's coaching,
Well,
he'll be like, hey, get a couple of points here, mate.
it does put question marks on him.
Which he's going backwards, Cow. I'm going to make that a big call. He's definitely going backwards.
He went up last year.
He did.
Yeah.
96.
I reckon
91.
Moyle's a bigger issue now.
Guacamole, you're right. Yeah.
Transition is happening there. Darcy Cameron, he was very good.
He will be good again.
Yeah.
So he went at 103 after his bye.
Yeah. Just quietly, he just got it done.
No ruck will average over 100 this year. Here's another one that will do. All right.
That was about 10 years ago. I must have said that. I reckon I can find the stat
keeps
where that
on
happened.
giving,
doesn't it ever?
And Briggsy is the other one that we do like.
I'd be interested on Briggsy,
but he's got an early buy.
He does.
So they go round 2 buy.
Right. But that's only shared with Gold Coast. Could you cover him for a week?
Well, if
you could
Boyd
potentially not have
was playing, if Boyd was playing, could Briggsy be in the mix?
Yep. Or could you wear a donut still?
I don't want to wear a donut.
No, I've seen you in
not
one.
very fashionable.
Well, you're not wearing a donut because it's best 18.
Of course but I want to go out with a full squad that week.
A powerful squad.
I could only do it if I thought Boydie was coming on for a potential 70 or something.
Yep.
Could a massive score in opening round for Briggsy sway you?
100%.
Could, because he's at 92 and I think he could be that 100. Again, is that enough to be rolling into that?
But I think it can be enough in R2.
Yeah.
I think that spot is a little different.
But is it enough to take as your value there?
Yeah.
Briggsy came home averaging a lot after the bye from memory, or his last 7 rounds were really good. Let me just double check that because I remember writing about it and I thought that is a magnificent piece of journalism.
Yep. And he'd be hungry, I reckon, too.
Oh, he's hungry.
Well, when he got told don't come back fat at the
starving
best and fairest, so he might be starving.
Good player.
Good player, all right.
Find that stat, Roy?
No, I can't.
No, that's all right. Cow, you've listed some names here that we're not even really going to worry about. Rob? No.
Hey, Rob was good.
102 across his last 9 games, including 122, 136 and 140.
Wow.
There's ceiling for you.
That's snout.
Rob, pass.
Yeah, but no early buy and just does what he does. He'll be solid 90 again.
Now, Meekie's got the number 1 job at.
He does.
Hawthorn. Reevesy, what's his story?
No,
play at all?
No, he's gone now, I think. Right. I think he's gone. He's trying hard, don't get me wrong. He's trying very hard at training. But no, Meekie's got him covered.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Here's where we start hitting this value.
Thank you.
Here we go. We're talking...
Tom De Koning. He is the one that we are... Well, he's the second most... He's basically the second most popular premium player.
Yep.
So
Roy.
Yes.
You're a blue boy.
Yeah.
You are all in. And I think we've all probably actually currently got him there at R2 at the moment in our sides.
He does. Yeah, he's there.
Oh, you've got him.
Yeah, listen.
Oh, my God.
I do have him. He's there for the moment.
My goodness. Right. If only we recorded what we talk about pre-recording. Anyway.
Yes. Why do we need to have him there at the moment?
Well, look, I'm not going to say we need to, but I am saying he is the clubhouse leader for R2 at the moment, based on price and potential. So he's at 900K. That's a lot cheaper than those other big guys we've talked about. And I think he will be scoring like, say, a Tim English, but for a lot cheaper. So we all know that when he doesn't have Pitto in the side, this is all what it comes down to be honest.
It does.
Our confidence levels of him playing the season without Pitto. Now, when he doesn't play with Pitto, he's a 100 guy.
Yep.
All right. Another piece of journalism that was turning heads. It's like when he gets 80% centre bounces, and that happens when there's no Pitto, averaged 103.
Yep.
So that's enough.
That
88 that I think he's priced at to 103, that is enough value in R2 to get a massive tick.
Agree.
Now,
so what's he priced at though? 88,
I
isn't
think so.
Hang on. Am I wrong?
I'll have a quick check, dog. He is priced at 88.
Didn't think I'd be wrong.
No.
Oh, I thought you said 83. Maybe my brain wasn't working.
Correct. Now,
sorry.
No, you wouldn't know what come out of my mouth, but in my head I said 88.
Right.
Now, Pitto.
So 15 points.
Will he play a couple of games? Yes. Will it be... You've got your Pitto T-shirt on. You're putting me off. Will he play a couple of games? Yes. Will that be through the choice of we are rolling our best 22 out? No. Because I don't think he's in their best 22. And the win-loss last year without Pitto in the team would suggest that That is correct. That would be the way to go.
They played 14 times together last year.
Yep.
They played the last 6 games of the season.
Absolutely hammered by injuries, the Blues last year. That was through no luxury.
When Pito played, he averages 72. As you'd expect, because they're sharing the role.
Yeah. And Pito is probably more the number one guy. Would I be right in saying that, if they are both playing together?
That's all he can do.
Yeah, Yeah. Now, the other little flag on this, and this was a conversation pre-recording.
Yeah.
That we are maybe Cal's trying to talk us out of doing it.
No, I'm in.
That's what you're doing, but...
It's your job.
The little flag there was
just
that
agree on stuff.
What happens with old mate Charlie Curnow if his fitness isn't there...
So that's why...
Because he had like a little issue over the weekend, but I think it was all clear.
Yeah, but through the season, there's Curnow, there's Big Harry, and then... So it's like, it's not even just whether De Koning's fit. It feels like there's a flow-on effect that, okay, if De Koning's not fully fit, Pito comes in.
May need to be shuffled.
If Curnow's not fully fit, maybe Pito ends up coming in. Same with Big Harry. So there is multiple things that could affect this De Koning. But I think if Carlton roll out their best 22, they're willing to sacrifice hit-outs because Pito's a better tap ruckman than De Koning.
Yep.
Around the ground and athleticism and stuff like that is where De Koning more than makes up for it in his head-to-head matchups in the ruck. Like, for example, when they played against each other, I popped over again to training. I've been quite good at getting on the plane. Pito dominated the head-to-head hit-outs.
Okay. As you'd expect.
As you would expect. But like I just said, De Koning then dominated around the ground to the point where I think they would just roll with one, and that's De Koning.
The other issue with this R2 spot is that if you go out on a limb, like you did with Xerri before your time, a couple of years ago, and it doesn't pay off, you're stranded on Xerri Island. Remember that day, lonely day on Xerri Island?
I know. Turned into the party island last year.
It did. So at the moment, the 3 most popular players, Xerri, De Koning, and then Harry Boyd. Do you just follow the crowd?
That's a big part of starting squads in fantasy.
Because Roy,
safety in numbers.
The safest ship is the ownership.
Oh, goodness me.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Who did you steal that off?
Did you write that down?
I wrote that's in an article. It's in an article.
That is outstanding.
It's a safe ship.
You're in for a big year.
I am.
Oh, wow.
Great journalism right there.
Me.
Yeah. So you can use that. Other people will, no doubt. So that's fine.
They will.
They will.
How do you actually copyright stuff? We could have so much cash.
Right. Let's play on to some other players then. So De Koning, we're okay with it at the moment.
I think he's a good one to sit there as well at the moment as well, because that $900,000 price tag, you can actually get a good look at what the rest of your team would look like around that, and then if you have to adjust him $100K up or down.
And again, no early buy.
That's doable.
There.
And that's, the difference between him and Max is $250,000.
See?
It's a lot of coin.
So that means if Pito isn't named,
that's
you have to go De Koning.
I think so.
Over Max.
First game of the season.
Yeah.
But he has it all right because Nank actually gives up scores, doesn't he?
He's got a great run.
But gives up
so
scores.
Actually, Carlton's run's pretty good to start with.
It is.
Regardless, is it good for Rucks?
So it's Richmond, which is a dark green team. Hawthorn, light green. Bulldogs, another dark green team. So the first three should be a really good run.
Could be a new Tim English.
Could be. Well, there you go.
So he's actually got a great start to the year.
He does.
Well, and that's the beauty of picking any Carlton players. Every matchup is a good one.
It is. Every matchup.
Well, when you're likely premiers.
Yeah.
Play on.
You've got Oscar McInerney on the list. He may miss early. It depends. He's a week on the injury list at the moment. He might be right.
Yeah.
Could you pick Darcy Ford instead?
Well, I'm only saying Ford there as a... So if you're drafting here,
this
is a classic move because you pick up McInerney late and then you chuck Ford on your bench and they work together.
You're just safe,
All right, Jordon Sweet's the name that we want to talk about now because that was flagged by Tom.
Yes.
No, Chris, sorry.
Chris
Back in the day it was. Chris did say that he's looking at him. Number one ruckman, is Soldo going to get a game?
No chance.
No chance.
No. He's the number one and was by round 15 last year, played out the rest of the year. So they sort of tinkered with the idea of both of them.
So what's his upside? What's his scoring potential?
So I think he was like an 83.
Yeah.
Once he got that solo role. Now I'm not convinced
83
that's
for the season.
No, for the last part when he was.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's all. That's the concern.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I don't know so many people are looking
I don't know.
at it.
Yes, I know Chris has won the game. Come on.
Apart from the fact that Chris knows more than me.
Well, that's it. And that's the only reason I was half interested. But the more I dug into it, I was like, I just don't see it.
But he's young.
He's 27. He's only played 28 games in his career.
So he's going to...
So he's an up-and-comer.
So we don't have heaps of data to
No.
really...
He could have a breakout year. He could get to like a 95.
Yeah, what do you have?
He
112
right.
there against Hawthorn in that semi-final.
Yep.
Last round of the season had a 120.
Yep. His final series was good.
And it's a good price, though.
Great.
It's a good price
Yes.
for someone that can score, like you just said, Dog. Plus,
Well, Rucks have that
solo
opportunity.
ruck.
Yep.
Ken doesn't play two big ruckmen.
No, you wouldn't think so. So it's one to watch over the preseason in case Soldo does pop his big head in, but I can't see it happen.
No.
Has Luke Jackson come onto the radar a little bit here? He's got the ruck forward status as well. So does he underwhelm us a little bit when he is a solo guy? Like, he's solid,
He is.
but he's not like this epic knockout pick.
No.
9 times last year, he was a solo ruck.
Yep.
Averaged 93.
Okay.
So he's actually underpriced a bit if he was going to be solo ruck.
Yeah.
For an extended period.
Yep.
But you never know when the hole's coming back.
Exactly. And the issue was, Dog.
So it's priced at 79.
Yep. And 93 is great if he's going to have the role. But when he doesn't have the role, he went at 69.
Yeah.
So you just can't risk it.
You can't, because even last year, towards the end, the last 2 games of the season, they bring in Liam Reedy to be the number 1 ruck. So
Let's
Jackson can start.
bundle this chat then. Basically,
Tracy was out.
yeah, and that was probably a flag there of needing Jackson to play forward.
They really like him forward.
So
But I think
Reedy,
that
if
recent-
he was really cheap,
Yeah.
He's a 402.
too much.
That matched him though. Like, they pretty much, I think they like Jackson's going to be the ruck. I think.
Oh, do you really?
I think it's the Tracy factor when he was out that they played Reed.
Oh, do you?
Maybe. Well, it's just another flag. We
I
don't
know. Well, it makes sense.
but we'll be able to see some stuff there because Jackson is a competent forward.
Yes, he is.
and I don't think they love him in the ruck.
Anyway, so that's going to be those 3. Basically, Jackson, Darcy, and Reedy. Darcy, they say we want him playing the early games of the season, whatever that means. If you get 5 weeks worth of it, it could be a play.
Yeah. I think we just steer clear of any rucks at Fremantle.
Their run, Freo's run is the best out of all of them.
If
No,
Reedy,
we have a look at them again.
if Reedy was their number 1 ruck then, like they did go down that path, at 402, could you... I don't think you could do it on field as your R2 because that is a bit too short a term play. But could you spend up to go 402 on your bench to get some coin?
Instead of Harry Boyd, you've lost your mind.
Well, is Harry Boyd
okay,
playing?
let's say Boyd wasn't playing
Yeah.
and Reedy was, then like Briggsy was
do you
back
just-
in play too.
And do you just let him, and then do you let him get up to 500, 550 over that time?
So cool your jet.
Cash
so
him down
Reedy plays
to Harry Boyd.
Just saying.
Hang on. Reedy
Cash him
played,
down to Harry Boyd, it'll still be 230 because he's not playing.
Reedy played 2 games last year, 50 and 53 is what he scored.
He's going up in price from 402k.
It's called a slow burn, brother.
At least it's burning.
Right. So, we're just going to avoid there. We will watch and see, though. Those Thursday
100%
night
we
teams
will.
with that. Cash Cow's Cow. You've been talking up Harry Boyd. Is he going to be the best of our cash cows?
you find us
Is he actually going to
Seriously,
play?
listen to
Come
this.
on, Calvin.
I am surrounded by St Kilda supporters at work.
Yes.
Right.
You will not find one
Sorry
St Kilda
about that.
supporter. Yeah, it's a long day. You will not find one St Kilda supporter who does not think this guy's going to play. He plays.
From the get-go.
Yes.
What were the injury rumours about him? There's no truth in that.
No.
So he's fine.
No, they're making it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there
This
you go.
is a guy who is a legit ruckman, averaging 42 in the sample.
Legit.
117 fantasy points from 18 games.
Okay. Can I just flag another issue here? Say we do pick him on our bench.
Yeah.
We're basically rolling in with no loop if he plays.
I'm okay with that. It's all about cash generation for me.
It is, especially when he's pumping out 85 a game.
We get buys. 3
will.
weeks of buys. We'll get a donut.
Throw
out there later.
Okay.
Look, he may not be there long term, but he will be there round 1. Look, if I die on this Harry Boyd Hill...
Oh, no, you've
made a big for a couple of weeks in?
People are still laughing at that team
like
that people revealed with him at R2.
People are going to be laughing on the other side of their faces when they realise that I am actually right. He plays. Marshall coming back. Is he 100% Marshall?
Well, Ross thinks he is.
He's had a broken pelvis.
They like Rowan up forward. They haven't, until this point, had the option of doing it.
Is King's all right, is he?
Yeah, so he avoided serious damage, but, yeah, we don't know if it's...
The flow-on effect of these tall forwards to the rucks are becoming a nightmare.
But he's probably the one that we're going to put as our R3, our bench ruckman.
Yes.
Because he's the most likely to play.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
If you do want that loop that you talk about there, Roy, we do think about West Coast because they've got a lot of Sunday games. And we had him last year, Harry Barnett. He's still basement price. So you could go him again if you just want to sign him to another contract. Yep. But I think Archer Reed might be the best bet of them that could be a chance to play because there is that part of you that you want, if you can get some cash out of someone.
Okay. It's about time we break that down because I hear a lot of things about someone being a good loop option because they might play.
Yes.
Now, is that a bad thing? Isn't that a bad thing?
Well, it is.
Or a good thing? Like, I really want to know that because, these guys, we're picking them in that spot because they're not going to be there, because we want to use them as a loop. Then when they eventually come in, they're not, look at poor old Harry. He came in and played. He's still basement price. That tells you they're not actually contributing.
I think the question is, what's more important here, the loophole option or the fact that they're going to play?
I don't know. I want to know.
Play.
Yeah, am I picking someone with the potential to come in or am I picking someone that I want out?
I think if Harry Boyd plays, he can score.
So we pick him.
Yes. Archer Reed, what have we got here? So West Coast, 11 out of their first 14 games are on Sunday.
That's why we like that. And that's St Kilda are good too. And that's why Harry Boyd can be good. And that's why people have gone with Max Heath as well.
Yeah, which is what Dog said. So in those early buy rounds, we're going to have options with those guys.
We've got 3 weeks of buys early. Then from round 12, we've got 5 weeks of buys where we will have loop options. So there's almost not a massive patch between round 5 and round 11 where imagine if everyone was playing, you're not going to have a loop. But as if everyone's going to be playing. And this ruck that we're picking is unlikely to play. But do you just have it like that's why Boyd, if Marshall did go down, you know he's going to be there and you've already got him. You don't have to use a trade to do a bench trade to have him. Yep. He's going to be in there playing.
Can I flag something?
You've done a lot of flags today.
Boyd is going to live on the emergency list. That is going to be a sweat, expecting that you've got a loop coming. Expecting it, and he's just going to be sitting there every week right up until the deadline, and you will not know if he's coming in or not.
Right, cut that up as a clip, Dog, because this is going to come back to burn you, Roy.
I'm saying...
No, I do get it. I totally get it.
He could come in at the 11th hour on a Sunday when you're expecting him to be part of your looping.
He's got a VC 150 sitting there.
Cal, 30 green dots versus having a loop option. Where are you at?
You're taking the green dots.
Roy?
I'm green dotting.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying...
You don't want someone that could be an emergency.
No. We're going to have guys not playing. No. We're going to have guys not playing.
Yeah. After week 2 or 3. Week 1, just a question.
That's the sound effect that you get on the all-new draft game, fantasydraft.com.
Thought I've heard that before.
Well, Cal, you actually didn't know. It scared you.
It did.
I heard it once and didn't register.
Yes.
It is good. I love it.
There's some good editing in the draft kit that will be out very soon where we had to go take Nick Newman out there because Roy drafted him. Auto draft.
So my mate's
professional product.
I was trying to teach people a lesson.
I do my big draft with my schoolmates next weekend, not this weekend, a couple of weekends' time. And one of them's at a wedding, right? I said, put some headphones in, turn the sound
You know when
up.
it comes through.
Yeah. And then you go do your pick. Go back to the wedding.
Anyway, we're going to do for this, our rankings, our draft rucks, most teams will just have one ruck in it. So, team of 10, you only need to get 10 rucks.
Correct.
A league of 12, you only need to get 12 rucks, etc. However, this year we've added the flex position. We've got the ability to have that. And I think that mixes up the rucks more than any other position will, because you may choose to grab a couple of rucks early because they are almost your more guaranteed points as such. So, you know, if you could get a ruck, obviously for your ruck line, and a ruck for your flex, that could have you a massive leg up, because by the time you're getting to the end, and it depends on how deep your leagues are and what your lineup looks like, that 40th best forward, if like that position compared to, you know, trying to get a top 15 ruck that ends up being in that slot.
And even more than that, I love to think how much it wrecks everyone.
And it will. And I think that's it. So, rucks, let's talk about them. Let's go off. We'll go in a linear draft meeting. We'll just go take it in turns going. I'm going to start with a nice easy one. Tristan Xerri is my R1. I've got him over Marshall, despite Marshall finishing the year better last year, and we've got those couple of flags now. Happy?
Yeah. Okay. I will go Marshall with number 2.
Now, where would you take him? Still first round.
It has to be first round. I've seen some drafts.
Used to think that he was 1 and 2. Like these guys would go 1 and 2. Is that still a case? Or
I think it can. It definitely can be.
I'd still take him top 5.
Top 5. So
easy.
I think. Not 2 or 3?
Yeah, I'm still, I'd probably take him pick 3.
Yep.
I think.
Okay. I'm with you.
Zach Merritt?
He has to go top.
Well ahead of Zach.
Way ahead.
Right, Roy, who's third ruck off the board?
Well, Cal sold me on Max. I'm all in on Max now.
Okay.
So Max at number 3.
And he sort of sits in between. Like, this is where that almost top tier stops there.
Yes.
I take no responsibility.
Where will you take him, though? Where will you take him?
I would take him at the end of first round.
End of first round, yeah, right. And with flex on, he's definitely going first round, isn't he? That's the thing. All right, next, I'm going to say it's Tim English, and I don't think that's going out on a massive limit. He's in the order of average from last year, but he could go from that, you know, low 100 to 110, could even be more than that. So I think that's a pretty safe one. And again, I think you're taking him in the first 2 rounds in a normal draft.
Yeah.
Flex on, I'd be quite happy. Imagine if you went on the back end of your draft and got Max into English. That's a good setup, isn't it? If you were going,
I'm a sicko like that. I would definitely do that.
You would.
Yeah.
All right.
Now this is where it gets tricky, I think, because that's the sort of the top tier guys.
Yeah,
from here
they
down,
probably pick themselves almost in that order.
They
From
do.
here down, I reckon there's probably 8 people that can be 90 to 95.
Talking a blanket?
Yeah, there's a blanket.
There's
right.
a blanket.
Up to 100
You're
even.
beauty.
But I'll go with Big Nank.
Okay.
So back-to-back 100-plus years.
Feels safe enough.
Yeah, I think he could be like a 99 or something like that. So I'll go Nank.
Okay. I'm going De Koning.
Ooh. Roy.
What?
Okay.
What's wrong with that?
Mr. Worldwide.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
He can do it. It's his pick, dog. He's allowed to pick who he wants.
He can do what he wants. If he wants to destroy his draft, he can. All right. After De Koning, I'll just take almost a safety in Brodie Grundy. I think he's going high 90s at worst.
Yeah, and then I'll go Darcy Cameron because I think he's
good.
He's the same. Closer to 100.
Okay, I'm going Kieren Briggs after that.
Oh, you've settled down.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
I know.
Briggs is good.
After criticising my last one.
Yeah.
Briggsy scores more than De Koning.
No.
Ooh.
You guys,
Yeah, I think he does.
You're not realising. Okay. I had to do that adjustment because did you hear what St Kilda are willing to offer De Koning?
Yeah. They're just trying to bump up his price. Do you know there's a common denominator in all that, though? Sauce's son.
Yeah.
No, hang on. I don't know. Sauce is the list manager. Look what he did to Carlton's list.
What are you going on about?
I don't know.
De
Maybe he's
Koning
going back to Carlton.
is getting offered a lot more than
Doesn't
these
mean
other...
he's going to score a lot of fantasy points.
No.
What do you mean? That's what they've got him in for.
Right,
Fair
so
enough.
Briggsy, after Briggsy, I'm going to go with... Geez, this is where it does get tough.
It does.
I'm going to throw Lloyd Meek. He should be their number 1 and stay number 1.
He could be...
He's in the 90s range.
I think he was at 88 last year.
Yep.
Just a
That's pretty good.
good big lump.
All right, this is our last round. This is as far as we'll go.
I'm going to go now. I'm not going to go Witsy. I'm going to go with Jordon Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair
That's
enough.
fair.
I am going to go Witsy. I think he's
yes.
actually safe. Like, he last year he played 16 games off the top of my head. Very durable before that, like hitting 20s. And last year, he actually improved his average from the previous two. So, Witsy, I'm not worried about those Moyley and that. I think he's still clearly their number one.
Isn't that amazing? We've just gone through... Did we pick 12 then?
Yeah.
Right. And
so are they all...
The last guy...
88 plus?
The last guy
definitely.
went at 96 last year.
Yeah.
So you can punt rucks in your draft.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, if you end up with Witsy punting rucks, I think you've done very well.
As the last pick.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the only issue is, I guess, the flex. If that's on, I think you have to go heavier.
You do. You are going to have to burn a pick earlier than you want to.
Yep, just to secure.
Because even after that, though, look who's left. Like Rob, 85, he's left on the board there.
Rob was
Sean Darcy could be better as well, I guess. But there's obviously the risk that comes with him.
Yeah.
Who else? Big O only goes in the mid-80s and he's had a battling pre-season.
You nearly need to go.
What are other clubs doing? Like Geelong, what are they doing? We didn't even talk about Geelong rucks, but what are they doing? Like that's...
You nearly need to pick a ruckman in your first two picks.
You got to go.
West Coast, what are they doing?
Well, yeah.
There's too many questions.
If you've got no flex, happy to punt.
Yeah.
If you've got flex on, you probably really need to
launch.
Get those up there.
Yeah.
Or be happy with, and it's a midfielder that you're taking. Like you're not taking a forward, and unlikely a defender, but it's a midfielder that ends up filling that flex spot.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yes.
All right.
Oof.
Got a question for the traders? Tweet the boys at AFL Fantasy or head to facebook.com/AFL Fantasy Official.
Alrighty, let's punch through some questions at AFL Fantasy, where you can find us on Twitter or X, and Instagram is great. Cal, you missed out on something on Instagram the other day.
I highly doubt
I made something nice for you.
Oh, you made something nice?
Yeah.
I highly doubt that.
AFL Fantasy for Dummies.
I saw that. What's going on there?
Oh, I just thought
that looked outstanding,
it was a good picture
to be
of
honest.
you. Look at the same as the book.
I'm doing my eyebrow thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. Anyway, go and check that out. At AFL Fantasy, that's where we are throwing things into the story so you can ask your questions.
It's good, dog.
Do you know when I did that? Poor old Georgie, she was dancing, going, I've got some time to kill here. Had half an hour in the car, toddling away on the laptop. Smart.
Don't you go in and watch?
You're not allowed to.
Oh, well done to them.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah, I know. You're actually not allowed to.
What a parent's dream.
You're not allowed to watch.
Yeah, exit straight away, drop them off and run.
Do you reckon they actually dance in there, or they just throw them a switch?
That's why.
Don't tell your parents.
Yeah.
I love it.
I always say, what did you do today? Oh,
nothing.
I've forgotten. I don't know.
Yes, they have trained them well.
Your kids do that as well, though. You ask a question about what they do.
I wouldn't have a clue what they do.
Yeah, they don't know. No. Anyway, let's get into questions, because that's what we're here for, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go. At AFL Fantasy Factory, we plan on starting X and Sweet at 1 and 2, but Marshall is definitely one of our boys. Do you think we'll hit a point where Sweet to Rowan Marshall might be a sideways trade, considering Marshall's bumpy preseason?
Yes,
maybe
you
not
talked about
sideways.
No, but you talked about that earlier.
Yeah,
that is definitely something you could be doing.
Yeah,
Max would be. I reckon that could be a
That'd be
sideways if you really wanted to go down that way. But
so I don't think that will ever be sideways, but I think it will become within reach.
Yeah, it'll almost be a nice little cash cow drop.
Yeah.
Cash them out. Now, Sam, can you afford not to have Xerri?
Well, judging by how much we struggled to find an R2,
Yeah.
no.
You know about the ship.
Which one? Oh, that ship. The ownership.
All right, and Sam also has the question. Cow, the floor's yours. Is Boyd a chance for R2, or is it better R3 option? No.
Okay.
No.
Look, you do need to clear this up properly.
You actually
People
probably
are
should write your
listening.
article again on that one,
Okay.
I reckon.
Yes, he is a chance at R2. No, okay. If something comes out here and
if Marshall doesn't play for the first 6 weeks,
if Marshall
I could
gets
do it.
hit by a meteorite or something, right?
Yeah.
then yes, it's a play.
Poor meteorite. That's what I reckon.
Yeah. No, it's not a play at this point. Yes, it was fun, and I had a good time.
And you got some feedback.
I got some great feedback on
So
it.
you're telling me that ship has sailed?
That
it's
ship
not
has
like
sailed.
the ownership.
No, that's a
That
different
ship has
kind of
sailed.
ship.
Right, okay.
That's the Titanic, that one.
It was the Wooden Boat Festival
it
down
was.
here on the weekend.
Now, Boydie, yes, he's your R3. He could give you nice cover over at some point, but I think he's going to average 85 if he's playing.
What?
Yeah.
Sharing? 85 sharing.
80 then. 80. You don't understand.
You're a weapon.
This guy, he's good. He's good. Get him on the podcast.
What's in that coffee? It's early this morning.
It's a pirate coffee.
The Carlton Blues ask, what does Reedy need to average in the first 4 to 6 weeks, assuming he plays, to be a good value pick at R2? So he's at that $402,000.
Yeah. What's that?
Well, it's a rookie.
Average?
Like, 40.
Like 40. Man, oh man. If he, say Darcy, something else will pop up.
Yeah.
They'll find out they left half the screw in his
fit.
ankle or something.
He's looking fit.
Oh, he is. It was getting me excited because I am a fan, but stuff keeps happening.
Yeah.
So they're not going to rush this. Reedy, if he was number one ruck, he could average 65, 70. Surely, couldn't he? If he was, he's better than that 50.
50 and 53 is what he had.
He's got to be 65 as number one ruck.
Which, would that be enough? I think it would be.
Well, it would, wouldn't it? Because
you get some cash out of that. It's the risk of the R2 in that.
Yeah.
As Carlton Blues says.
Yeah. Oh, it's a high risk play. He's got no job security. He's got no proven scoring ability. But we are going to be starting 4 to 5 rookies on the ground. He would have access to as many points as 90% of the other rookies in other positions.
Oh, I'm not ruling out that as a bench play.
Yeah.
I think it...
So purely bench play, though.
Yeah.
Not ground play.
No.
Save yourself.
Unless you really knew.
Yeah.
A good time frame.
Right.
Or a bad time frame for Darcy. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Rightio. Tyler has a good question here. How sure are we on Sweet being the number one at Port? Even if Soldo is on the outs, if he's killing the two, will they just ignore him? Could he come back inside? There's risk there, isn't there?
That is always.
It's another flag.
Yeah. Because
it's another flag.
Although I think Sweet is well ahead of him at the moment, so much as a niggle, and you've got a ready-made one, and he's not much worse, let's be honest.
Yep.
That's always going to be there with that Sweet play.
Yeah, so is he, as Anthony says, Jordon Sweet, yes or no?
No, for me.
I'm a no.
I'm a no, but I'm also, I can see why people would do it.
Yes.
Yep.
John, since you've been gone, is the answer to our R2 gone?
It could be. He's another one. He has to be in the calculations.
He is in the calculations.
Has to be in the calculations. As I said to you guys before, he's the same price as Sheasel.
So what I'm thinking at this point, to answer that, if I would happily sit Max there, but then if De Koning was playing without Pitto, I would just save that cash.
It's a lot of money.
It is.
Yep.
Briggsy, yay or nay for Braden? I like him.
I like it. And as I said, you can cover that one easy
if you've got
over the buys.
If you've got a R3 that he's going to play, I would tick off Briggsy.
Yep. So Briggsy at 91.5. He definitely goes better than that. He was better than that the year before, wasn't he? He was like a...
I thought he was a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and remember that piece of journalism? I think I said it was 102 or 3 for the last 9 games.
Yeah, he could definitely be a player.
Well, okay, so I keep saying if you've got the R3, but like you said, Dog, it's best 18 anyway that week, and we're not going to have any others missing.
Yep.
But are you comfortable rolling with
that's where
a squad of 21?
You are essentially having an extra rookie playing because you would have had a premium in that place.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
nah. So he's got Max in round 1, Briggsy.
What does he have in round 0? Because if he comes, he could force your hand here if he comes out.
Collingwood.
So he's got Collingwood. So according to the scale, there's 4 red teams to play against. Collingwood's 1 and Melbourne 1. He's got him in the first 2.
Oh, yeah.
So scale is not good for Briggsy.
Yeah, when we're already umming and ahhing, if the scale then...
But if you're not...
whacks you with red.
If you don't care about these buy players...
But if you started De Koning...
Yeah.
And it wasn't working for you, that's a pretty easy pivot.
Very easy pivot.
If he was going all right.
Yes.
Is it a wait and watch? Because he's got the round 2 bye.
I'm happy to wait and I'm happy to watch. Yep.
Wait and watch.
Yep.
Who do we go if TDK isn't solo rucking? Well, that's what we've been trying to work out the last. I think it's Max Gawn, Cow.
It could be Max.
Just pay up.
There's a lot of different other options.
We've really gone out on a limb there.
I know.
And said the answer is
Tim English, though.
Tim English is still in.
There's a lot of people still in the calculations. It's just a guy like Max has less flags than the others.
Yeah.
Thomas on Instagram wants to know, is Darcy Cameron, is he an option?
He is if you're not
got an early buy.
Worrying about the early buys.
It's a bad buy.
But I just don't know if he's got massive amounts of upside from where he's at.
No, I think he's just a safe, get what you pay for.
Solid citizen.
He'll be 100 this year. But you're right, he shares that buy with Brisbane and Geelong.
It's the one where we're going, in other lines, obviously not the ruck line, but in the other lines we're going to have players out.
Yeah, out. It could be thin.
Yep. But if that doesn't bother you, then yeah, you could.
Yeah.
A couple of people have asked about Boyd at R2. Why have you put this in there?
No, look, it was a play there for a while.
Look, you got to understand how many months we've been doing content.
Look, if Marshall's
going to go off on wavelengths, you know him.
If Marshall was out, if they go, look, Marshall, he's missing the next 8 weeks. 5 to 8, they said. He's missing the next 8 weeks with a pelvis stress
It was
fracture.
a play right then.
Right?
Yes, it was.
So, yeah, at the time, it was a play.
But things change, Mox.
Dr. Ross come out and said he's actually fine.
You wait. Boyd will play round 1.
If there's anyone that would lie, it is Ross.
That's true.
If Boyd's
back in R2.
If Boyd doesn't play round 1, I'll get a tattoo on my ass.
Dan says, have we done a full circle to go back to set and forget? Getting closer.
We're driving around in circles here.
We always end up in exactly the same position every year.
Yep.
So, yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that's helped you a little bit. I think we're still unsure, and I'm sure over the next month leading into round 1 that we'll hopefully come
It would have been reassuring to people to hear that their inability to make a decision here, they're not alone.
They're more confused than they ever have been now.
Yes, good.
Yep.
Welcome to a world inside our head.
I love it.
All right, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you're following on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and keep clicking back to afl.com.au. If you go /fantasy, that's where you find all of our epic stuff, such as Calvin's Ruck article, which is coming out on Tuesday.
And he promises to tell you the best two
I hope you actually have had a good crack at that.
Do you promise that?
100% a promise.
Right.
Harry Boyd.
Thanks for tuning in. See ya.